How that do, folks? Your boy Marcus 2205 numbers after the name. That I like to do, man. Maybe get at least like one FIFA, a little jueves or FIFA, little Fridays as they used to call back in the day. Yeah, you get like one a month, man, just to kind of recap what's going on in the world of soccer and obviously in the world of Real Madrid right there. We getting started strong, nah, man. How about that celebration? So it's cool, man. FIFA 17, they finally added some women teams into the game, only international, unfortunately, but it's all right though. And it's not, like every woman's team, but there's some good ones out there. In this case, I'm playing with the homie Fabio over here. Obviously, I'm playing in Spain as the motherland killer. They play really good, man. Like the feel is almost like a little bit faster than the guys, and a little bit even more maybe skilled than the guys. It's pretty cool. Overall, obviously they have their own kind of like scaling number and whatnot, even though it kind of adds up to the same thing. But it's cool. Like I thought it'd be like unfair if like you get like, if you introduce like the girls and they're all like 60s or something, as opposed to like Ronaldo was like 95. I was like, that'd be kind of stupid. But no, they're all kind of ranked like similarly as they should be. So it's pretty cool with that. He's playing as the Netherlands and I'm playing as Spain, obviously over here. Look at that, Cruce into the área. Oof, oof, oof. That's probably what I was doing at the time, man. Saw a little about, man, how the States go, man. I'm recording this video Sunday. Real Madrid actually just finished being Real Sociedad 3-0, man. Much needed win at the Bernabeu, man. Let's start with that, man. They had a rough couple games over here, man. Rough couple of weeks, man. And I think ultimately it's a little bit difficult to gauge a team like Real Madrid where, like, you have to win all the time or else, like, people, like, think that there's a problem. Like, literally, you lose a game and, like, the world's ending. And I have a little bit of that as a fan. I'm guilty of that sometimes, where I look at that and be like, I don't know. But I always try to explain to people it's not really the score that, like, a Real Madrid fan's worried about. Like, Real Madrid fans worried about how they showed up and how they played the game. And that's what, like, Real Madrid fans been worried about for, like, a couple weeks now. Whereas, like, we just aren't playing good. Like, we're just not caring. We're not playing hard. We're just not doing what we need to do on the pitch to win. And in turn, the results are what they are. Today against Real Sociedad, we kind of saw a little bit of that at the beginning, and then they kind of broke free. Some things started to break their way, and they loosened up a little bit. And Real Sociedad was, in all fairness, gassed, right? They played earlier this week against Barcelona, a very tough, intense physical game over there, and we kind of call them like that. I think next week also with Thursday, it'll be a little bit in our advantage. Obviously we have some demons exercise right there because they kicked us out of a Copa del Rey, this past week. But they're probably going to be focused on their semifinal with Alaves because that's a very good chance for them to actually sneak into a final. So I expect kind of them to win that game probably with relative ease, as much as you can. At the same time, though, clearly they've proven that they can beat us and they match up pretty well with us sometimes. So I don't know. But I think Benito will probably give some of his better players some rest over there. Like if Iago Aspas plays that game, well, they're kind of pushing it a little bit. But I think that the ultimate thing we got to take into account, Madrid, is the injury level is almost unprecedented on this team. And since they have the transfer ban this winter and they can't pick anybody up, because they would have already picked up, like they wouldn't have played that game with Casemiro against like playing as defense. Like they would have bought somebody like cash, like been like, yo, Zidane, who you like, we getting them, bye. Like that's kind of how they roll. Knocked over the mic again, man. I gotta make sure I keep the stand straight. My apologies. But they can't really do that because they got the ban over here for this winter. And thankfully, they at least cleared it up for the summer that they'll be able to make moves, much necessary moves that they'll have to make. So right now, to me, the biggest injuries, are the Dani Carvajal one. To me, that's huge, right? Like, Danilo can't play for Roger. Like, let's get that out of here. Today, he had an okay game. It's gotten to the point where, like, buddies of mine text me, like, on the third goal, he had, like, a little assist where he, like, a hockey assist where he kind of just kicked it out. So I was like, we're celebrating the fact that he gave a soft and on-point pass to a guy that was wide open in stride. I was like, that's all I need to hear about. The fact that that's what was celebrated about Danilo lets me know that he can't be here. Like, that's a wrap. So the Dani Carvajal one, to me, is probably the worst one. It almost negates our whole right side over there, and it almost just negates both defensively and offensively, that whole right side for us. And it puts it in a lot of jeopardy, whereas a guy like Lucas Vázquez now has to cover. And one of my pet peeves with Danilo, too, is how this guy pushes up. My man, you can't even guard, don't push up. Like, don't even waste the time. And I remember watching him in Porto. I know he used to push up, and he was good. I don't know what happened. I promise you, he's tough about with me. I've seen him play really good. Like, I know he's good. But he ain't good here, so I don't know what to tell you about that. And then Marcelo's also another big one, man. We play a lot with our backs pushing forward, man. And I don't think people realize how important that is to the team and how many mismatches we get there, especially how we focus so much on crosses now, where our left and our right backs push up and they provide flanks and they force the other team to kind of retreat and guard those guys, where we lack the defensive chops to maybe hang on those sides. Those guys make it up with their offensive pushes that we don't see right now. You know, not just Q at left back defending, he's fine, but he can't attack, and we saw that against us. He can't do it. Having said that, I'd rather have Nacho out there than Contrao or than Danilo. You know, it's fair. That's fine, but it's a bandage. And then the Modric injury to me is a big one. And then obviously Gareth Bale is huge. You know, he hasn't been around for months now. James isn't playing either, and that's a guy who could definitely come into a game and kind of change it up for you. So there's a lot of factors here going on here, and the Modric one is something that I really want to stress because Kovacic has been filling in and playing good, but he's not Modric. At Kovacic's best level, he's not Modric. So I won't overreach too much into Real Madrid's recent struggles and failings. I think a lot of it's injury prone, even though there is some commitment and some, you know, just lack of hustle and lack of heart that I've seen on behalf of some players. And I think Ronaldo's been kind of pointing in that direction. He's responded, and Benzema's been pointing in that direction, and he's been playing a little bit harder. But it's still, some things just, it ain't clicking right there. And Morata's, at this point, playing a little bit better. And I think I'd be shocked if on Saturday or Sunday he doesn't start against Celta. That would be a little bit of a surprise for me coming out of the dot. Your boy Marcos, man. Deuces.